You see, if we're not pushed to the wall, you can never ever tell how much you can do. There's an answer to every question. You just need to put your mind into it. And because it's you see, our solutions are always in front of us.
Not behind us.
No. Right in front of you. They might please set your mind to work. There is no fast money anywhere. Anybody who tells you there is money to be picked somewhere is lying to you.
Wow.
You have to work for that money. And you have to earn it in a dignified manner. Everything begins and ends in our minds. I always tell my kids, whatever you do, you see your mind, guard it jealously, because the total composition of you as a person
Yes,
is
sir.
your mind, is a factor of your mind. So you begin to die from your mind. A lot of people are dead because their mind is dead.
Today on the show, we have an extraordinary woman whose journey is redefining what it means to lead with vision, resilience, and excellence in a male-dominated industry. Meet Mrs. Esther Dauda-Bewa, the dynamic founder and CEO of Nengi Smart Shuttles and Logistics, a premier transportation company that has already served over 25,000 satisfied clients in under 3 years. That's not all. In 2023, Nengi was proudly awarded Best Transport Company by iHub Digital Solutions, a testament to the consistent quality and innovation the brand is known for. Esther holds a degree in theatre and performing arts from Amadou Bello University, Zaria, and a master's in research and public policy from the University of Jos. With decades of hands-on business experience under her belt, she's built a reputation for excellence, profitability, and impact. What makes her truly stand out? She's one of the very few women spearheading a transport company in Nigeria, a true trailblazer and industry icon. When she's not running a high-performing business or leading her team, you'll find her being supermom to 4 amazing, energetic kids, all breaking a sweat at the gym, staying fit and focused. Get ready for a powerful conversation with a woman who embodies grit, grace, and greatness, Mrs. Esther Dauda-Bewa. Welcome to the Mind Mastery Podcast with the Mind Master, Osas-Daniel.
Hello and welcome again to the Mind Mastery Podcast. And it's a time that we always dive deep into the mindset that really has sponsored our successes, our wealth, and our transformation. And basically, we talk about mindset that has to do with our faith, our family, our finances, our friendship, and our fitness. Without wasting much time, we're going to dive deep into our conversation for today. Someone would like you to share your story with us and share a defining moment where your mindset completely shifted and how that has changed your life and your career going forward.
For some years, I've been into business. I had a shop called Just Bags, which I started in 2015. And I had that shop up until 2021 when things went to the shop and carted away everything.
Wow.
Yes. So at that point, I was at a crossroads because I already had took loans, traveled to bring in goods, and just like that, one night everything went. I became depressive. I was sad. I was in this very, very terrible place. It got to a point I became suicidal. Yes, because I couldn't pay the debt. My husband tried his best, still I couldn't. And of course, you know how debtors can be.
Yes. They can be very mean.
Yes, they were mean. So I got really worked up. I wasn't sleeping. I was depressed. I was sick. My mental health was totally off, you know. And I went on like that for months. I wouldn't want to wake up in the morning. Once the cock crows in the morning, I'll be like, why am I here again? What am I doing here? Why am I not dead?
Was that
It
bad?
was that bad because I knew I was going to start receiving calls. And one of the days when I woke up and I said, why am I here again? It sounded differently.
Wow.
And I heard a really small voice that said, this is what you should have been asking since. Instead of wallowing in misery, you should have asked me why you were here in the first place and the lessons you need to learn from this situation. And I took a pause. I was like, okay, but then what lessons? I mean, I'm suffering. What lessons do you want me to learn, from this situation? No lessons to learn. But that voice persisted. Ask me the lesson and I'll teach you. I'll show you. The day it clicked, I was driving and I parked. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the lessons. And it took some months again for me to start learning and relearning, looking at where I went wrong, the mistakes I made. Okay, what can I do better? And all of those questions, started getting some good answers. And one night I just sat up on my bed and I said, transportation, transportation, yes, okay. How? I had this car, a Toyota Camry, black, very beautiful. I was like, okay, this is all I have. Should I give it to someone else to do the driving and then, bring back the money and all that? And clearly I heard, no, you're driving it yourself.
Wow.
Yes. I said, okay. Of course, our African society.
That's why I'm surprised.
Yes. I had to now start thinking, how do I meet my husband to tell him I'll be a taxi driver?
At least let's dignify it. Uber driver.
Uber, well, I always like to use the word taxi driver because every job you find yourself doing is dignifying.
Do you want to say that again?
Yes, every job you find yourself doing, so long as there is integrity, it pays your bills, you're not stealing, you're not cheating anyone, it's dignifying.
Come on.
It doesn't matter if you're sweeping the streets, you do it with every sense of dignity.
Wow.
That's just it. So I brought out my laptop for the first time. I went on Google. How do you register a company? I checked. Yes, right there in my bedroom, I registered Nenji Smart Shuttles and Logistics.
Wait. You didn't just get to the road to start driving.
No. I knew it shouldn't be just any kind of business. Okay, so register it. Mind you, my first business, Just Bags, I never registered it. It didn't occur to me to register the business. But this one was just, okay, you have to do it right. You have learned the lessons. Don't make the same mistakes. Register a company. And I just took my laptop and I went, okay, let me just try. And I did. Right in my bedroom, I registered Nenji Smart Shuttles and Logistics.
No, hold on. You didn't use the services of anybody?
No, I didn't.
So which means that entrepreneurs can actually register their business by themselves?
Yes, you can actually do that. You see, if we're not pushed to the wall, you can never ever tell how much you can do. Ooh, sometimes you have to be pushed to the wall for certain skills to come out. Honestly, I never thought. I always assumed, okay, you need to get a lawyer, need someone who knows. But because, let me tell you the truth, that night, I had just 6,700 and, some change in my account. That was me home and abroad. Everywhere, 6,700 and something. And I was like, okay, I need to pay for this. And as at then, it was, I think I paid 5,150 or so. So right in my room, I registered the company. Then the major thing now, how do I tell my husband this? So I met him. I said, I want to start driving. Wow. And he said, okay. What do you mean you want to start driving? Haven't you been driving? I said, no, I want to be a taxi driver. I want to be driving this car, picking passengers from one place to the other, to the airport and all of that. He said, no. What will people say? My husband is a senior civil servant in the States.
Here we go again.
Yes. So I was like, okay. When these debtors come, what will people say? Ooh. But I held my peace. That same voice said, I always say it's the Lord because I believe so much in the voice of the Holy Spirit. I know it was the Holy Spirit that has been guided me to that point. Wow. And the Holy Spirit said, his heart is in my hands. Hold your peace. And I was like, okay. He said, you won't do it. I said, okay, fine. So I left him. First month, second month, the third month, he came and he said, hey, that's your business. Come and explain it again.
Serious?
Yes. So I did. I told him how I intend to go about it. I'll pick passengers. I'm going to register with Bolt. So I registered with Bolt, and he said, what about the home front? I just told him, see, I can multitask.
I've always known you to do that.
Yeah, I am so good at multitasking. At that time was to be very open. with my husband. So whatever I was making, I'll come. Oh, today we made this amount. Oh, someone tips me this amount. I got this. This is what we. It's a woman thing, It's a gift.
Do you really multitask, or you do so many things, you juggle from one thing to the other? And at the end, you're able to pull all of them together and get results.
I want to think we multitask and we get results at the end of the day because it's a gift God has given the woman. It's a blessing.
Wow.
Yes, for us to be able to do that is a blessing. You see the woman cooking, she's breastfeeding, she's doing this, she's doing that, and all of it comes together into something beautiful at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
So he said, what about the home front? I said, I can multitask. Just give me 3 months. If I'm not able to cope, and if your home suffers in any way, I promise you, I will stop. So he said, okay. I would wake up in the morning, I would drop the kids in school, then turn on my Bolt app, go around, come back home probably 12, fix lunch, rush back, pick the kids, bring them home, start dinner. Once I'm done with dinner between 5:30, I put on my Bolt app again, then I step out. 6:30, I'm back home. So I did that for months. And then at some point, I started getting offline bookings. People would call, people would refer. I would rush to the airport, pick people. And then I started traveling outside the states with passengers.
Wow.
Yes, I take passengers to Maiduguri. I was taking them to Yobe. I was taking them to Bauchi. I was taking them to Gombe. I was taking them to Abuja.
That's bravery.
Well, I had to. And what the wisdom God gave me, do you need something from it?
You won't say no.
No.
Will you say no?
Well,
who will say no to such an offer?
My husband. My husband would say no because he knows that there is no way I would have money and don't take care of certain things in the home.
Wow.
So he'd be like, hey, you know what to do now. Just see what you can do around the house. But he would never ask me to give him money. So I just said, okay, since this man will not take the money, once in a while, like weekends, I get him some really nice things. He loves pepper soup, so I'll make some really, really nice ones. Oh, I made good profit today, so
Wow.
So
wow.
that was how I continued until in 2002, towards that's when the campaign was heating up. I got a really good deal. Politicians, they needed vehicles. I had to take them to Bauchi. In fact, when Tinubu and President Tinubu and former President Buhari, when they came to Plateau, I was part of that convoy.
Wow.
From the airport, I was one of the lead convoy. And of course I was paid really well. Then when Atiku came, when he was coming, I was contacted from Abuja. Okay, we need vehicles, we need this, we need that. Can you come to the airport? I was like, okay, no problem. When I was thinking it's maybe in a week's time, they said today, 5 p.m. We need so number of vehicles. I was like, okay. Don't forget I had just one car. Even though at that point I had moved from the Camry. I sold the Camry and then I got a Sienna, a 2010 Sienna. So I was like, okay, well, I can do it. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. But I knew I couldn't turn it down because something inside me said, look, this is your turning point. You have to take this job.
So for me, I believe that is a mindset.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset.
You just believe that you have an answer to the question they are asking, even when the answer is not readily with you.
There is always an answer to every question. You just need to put your mind into it. And because you see, our solutions are always in front of us.
Not behind us.
No. Right in front of you. They might not look it, but they are actually the answers. But it is now a question of, are you willing
to accept it,
to accept that this is your answer?
So which means your defining moment was actually the voice that told you, why are you here?
Why?
That question you asked.
And don't forget that's why am I here was from a place of anger. Why am I even here? Why am I even alive this morning again? For God's sake, I'm tired. And then the why am I here kept changing and changing until the Lord stepped in.
I want to first say that there's a need for us to commend men that are supportive.
Yes.
And I must give that to your husband. I've not met him, but I think we need to say this. Most times, a lot of men look out for women and then they ask, "Oh, what are you bringing to the
To the
table?"
table.
It's almost becoming a discussion that is gaining popularity. But I think for me, it shouldn't be that way. Women are already bringing a lot into the table for
Oh, yeah.
accepting to even be your wife.
I agree.
They came with a womb, they came with the facility to nurture. Now, if that's the only thing they bring to the table, it's already enough.
It's enough.
But if we now find women that go the extra mile to want to generate income, I think the men should not just jump at those opportunities like scavengers. Because the extent you have gone now is the support your husband has given to you.
100%.
You come with something and said, "Do you need it?" And he said, "No," because he knows that you will be able to take care of the needs that you have seen that should be taken care of. I think I salute that.
Yeah.
And when you see men of your tribe, you recognize them. And I hope that someday I'll get to meet him because he
Yes.
resonates so much
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me. Now, I want to believe that when it comes to mindset, we don't inherit it as it were. And if we are going to learn the mindset of people, we need to probe into their habits, into their rituals, into the things that those little things they do almost on a daily basis. So I want to ask, what are your top 3 most daily rituals that you just must observe? Now you talk about being a person of faith, which I am, and like I told us earlier, the mindset we talk about here has to do with the 5 basic areas of our life, and the first is our faith.
Yeah.
So I so much believe when you said it. The Holy Spirit guides us, it leads us. Now, can you tell us what are those 3 things? It can be more than that that you do to keep you in check, in tune with the mindset that powers the things that you do.
Okay. So before I go to bed, the moment my head hits the pillow, the first thing I say is, Lord, I thank you for today. That's, I thank you for today. I thank you because I'm here.
Yeah.
I thank you because the challenges did not consume me. Then when I wake up in the morning, the moment I open my eyes, the first thing I say is, thank you, Lord. I
Wow.
lay down there. I cannot lie and tell you I wake up and I start praying. No, 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 no. What I do is I meditate. Then I begin to play back the previous day. So I pick up from that point of, Lord, I thank you for the challenges. And I'm like, okay, we're here today. And I say, okay, this is a new day. This challenge is still here. What can you do differently? I begin to map out, go back to how I was able to handle almost similar challenges in the past. I just think and reflect and reflect. Then when I finally get up from the bed and my feet hits the floor, I'm like, here goes. Esther, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. Let's go.
Wow.
So for me, it's not a part of I wake up and I start pray. I pray for 30 minutes. Honestly, I will not tell you I pray for 30 minutes. I have how I pray. While I'm sitting down here with you,
Yes.
my heart is already doing what it's doing with my maker.
What it means is that you do more with your mind.
I do more with my mind.
And that's actually the message that I am trying to let a lot of people know. People don't understand the capacity that God has placed in their mind. What you said now, the ritual of gratitude. You cannot be grateful if you are not thoughtful. And it is one of the slogans of Bishop David Oyedepo that if you are thoughtful enough, you will be thankful enough. A songwriter once said that if I am honest, I will definitely see a reason to say thank you, God.
Oh yeah.
So you observe the ritual. I call it ritual. It's a ritual of gratitude. The other ritual that you also observe is a ritual of introspection.
Yes.
You think backward. So pick lessons from problems you have solved before. And then you remind yourself that you did something similar. Okay, bring that. Okay, could you have done this way?
Yeah.
And that contemplation is what actually gives birth to most of the things that you are doing. I'm not surprised. I am not. And I can actually give words and meaning to a lot of them because a lot of people do things that they don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
What people call prayers is when they have to shout. And if you look at it, let's be frank and say we are both people of faith. many of those prayers they really don't produce results.
No, they don't. Because you cannot pray and you just sit and then your mind is still whacked. See, everything begins and ends in our minds. I always tell my kids, whatever you do, you see your mind, guard it. Guard it jealously. Because the total composition of you as a person
Yes,
is
sir.
your mind. Is a factor of your mind. So you begin to die from your mind. A lot of people are dead because their mind is dead. You begin to come alive when your mind is alive. When your mind is alive, it's working. So you kill yourself from your mind, or you progress from your mind. Even the Bible said it. It's there in the Bible. Guard it jealously, for out of it
And the
proceeds
issue,
all. It is a some, all issues of life. So
money,
everything,
relationship, fitness.
everything is in your mind. That's the sum total of a man. Your mind. You don't have it, you are finished. If it's weak, you are a goner. If it's affected, you are dead because you cannot do anything.
And people do not know that what gives you legitimacy to be counted during census is that your mind is working well.
Mind is working well.
When they are doing during census, they don't count the mad people.
No.
And during election, they don't allow mad people to vote.
How?
So it means that it is not that you breathe in and breathe out that makes you a man.
No.
It is your mind.
It's your mind. It is your mind.
I'm happy this conversation is coming up because I feel it needs to take a center position on many tables of discussion. Now, because our time is limited, I want us to really hit some questions that our audience will want to hear. I believe you being in this business, transportation business, I travel with Nenji. I prefer Nenji to others. I don't want to mention names. Your vehicles are cleaner. The services you render, it is top notch when it comes to transportation on the plateau.
Thank you.
When I'm going to Abuja, I prefer to travel with Nenji. And when I'm coming back, I guess you remember there was a time I had to even book, even when it was fully booked. I said, if you get a space, put me there.
Yeah.
I would rather not travel than to travel with any other vehicle.
Yeah,
I prefer to use Nenji. It's not just a personal preference. Anybody that has used Nenji will also say that. Your cars are cleaner, they are neater, and your drivers are also well behaved.
Thank you.
Now, in doing this kind of business, it's risky.
Yes.
It comes with a lot of fear. It comes with a lot of resistance. It comes with a lot of doubt. How do you overcome these fears, doubts, especially when the stakes are high?
Okay, so in this line of business, every day you are in this state of fear of, what ifs? What if there is an accident?
Yeah.
Now, for me, it's not about the vehicle. It's about the people in the vehicle. That's what gives me I get worried, I get bothered, And if you get the chance to talk with my drivers, they'll tell you, look, anything can happen to the vehicle, but please, you see those passengers, fly shouldn't come near them for me. Because they have families, they have children, they have wives, they have husbands, they have mothers, fathers. So if anything happens to one of them, it's like there's going to be a chain reaction of events in that family.
Yes.
So for me, my fear is not on the vehicles, because of course my vehicles are insured.
Wow.
Right? So it's the passengers. So every day when my vehicle returns and from Jos to Abuja to Jos, they'll tell you, I say, Lord, I thank you. Thank you for these people. You have brought them back safely.
You are just so high on that gratitude.
My life is total gratitude, because really, I shouldn't be here. I really, really shouldn't be here. So even when the challenges come, I'm like, well, it is what it is. I shouldn't be here in the first place. So I'm even grateful for it. I always say, Lord, you see this challenge? No problem. We'll go through the storm. But whatever you do, don't let this boat capsize. Take me to shore. I don't mind the waves. Let it hit. But you see shore, we'll get to the shore. Because you cannot take me through the sea. It's raging and hitting all over, and then I'm not at the shore. No, it's not possible. So whatever you do, Lord, I always tell every day, even when I was driving down here, Lord, whatever you do, with me,
Yeah.
just get me to shore.
That's
I'm willing to go through the heat and the waters and everything.
Yeah.
But please, let the boat not capsize.
Oh.
Let's just get to shore.
You see, when we look at the environment we are living in, and when a lot of people have to blame this, blame that, blame God, blame government, blame their parents, blame everybody around them,
Mhm.
there is only one person they don't blame.
Themselves.
That's themselves. Now, I want to ask, because such belief, the reason why they do those blaming is because of the mindsets and the beliefs they have grown up with. Now, I want to ask you, at what point and what mindsets, do you have to unlearn in order for you to do the things you are doing now and to have succeeded this far?
Okay, so there was a time in my life where it felt like when everyone is getting something, once it gets to my turn, it ends there.
Hmm.
I don't always receive. I don't always receive. And the devil is so crafty.
Yes.
He said, it's because you're not good enough.
Wow.
Yes. He said, because you're not good enough and you don't have the capacity. So I now started seeing every other person as better than me. Truly. So even when people are going for something, I'm like, if you reach my turn self, you go finish, make I just day. But one time, I said, let's try this thing. Their head not so. Now it was from the point where I started knowing Christ.
Wow.
Okay? Then I now realized, okay, it doesn't matter if they get it and it stops,
With you.
you know,
Before you.
before it gets to me.
Yeah.
If it stops here, I can always turn this way and start another line. And then I can receive from there too. So I don't have to receive from here. I can switch positions and
Yes.
receive from here. And for me, that was pivotal. I started receiving, okay, if this doesn't work here, okay, fine, try that. So I always tell people, you see, you have your plan A, you have B, you have C, you have D. Just have it. So you don't set your gaze on one. And you begin to feel like you're not good enough, just like I was feeling.
Some people
I was good enough.
Some people will blame village people.
No village people. No village people anywhere. It is basically your mindset. We're back to the mindset. Your mind has to shift. There has to be a shifting. If my mind hadn't shifted,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
would still
ma'am.
be carrying this inferiority complex. Oh, I had serious inferiority complex. Yes, I did. I would be in a space with people when they're talking, I'll just be like, lucky them. And I'll be so quiet.
You mean as beautiful as you are?
I had it. I had, in fact, chronic until that moment when I realized, look, I'm also good enough for these things. So if I'm not getting it from here, I can as well look the other way. I move from here to this point, to this point. And truly, that really helped me because if I don't get from here,
Yes.
I don't feel offended. I stopped feeling that offense. For me, there is no offense. Honestly, in any way, no offense, no entitlement.
Yeah.
I don't feel entitled to anything. If I ask you for something today and you don't give it to me, fine and good. There is something else. If you are not able to do it for me, it means probably you don't have or your needs are greater than mine. It doesn't matter how much you have.
This is interesting.
So if I have a problem of $1,000,000 and I meet you thinking you would have that $1,000,000 because in my head, I perceive you have 10 million. Your problem might be 20 million. So would you want to give me that 1 million when you're still trying to get your 20 million together? So that really helps me not to pick offense. Honestly, I don't pick offense.
What do you have to say about this entitlement mentality?
Entitlement mentality is from the pit of hell. Why would you feel entitled to anybody's thing when you can do and achieve? Why do you feel because let me use the ladies now because I'm married to this person and I am entitled, and you begin to act in certain ways?
You mean this is another level of
Yes.
this is another level you have taken it to? Because ordinarily, a woman who is married to a man feels that okay, what he has is our own.
It's our own, but truly I don't feel entitled to it. I always say, okay, when my children, as they're growing up, what would they see me doing? What can they say mommy is bringing as contribution? It might not really be in monetary terms, but
Yeah.
they should be able to see me doing something. I should be doing something. They should be able to. Okay, let me give you an instance now,
Please
right?
do.
My
Do more.
kids grew up. They've always seen me
Hustling.
business, working,
Yes.
going here, going there. This is summer break. My son came to me 3 weeks ago and he said, Mommy, I want to buy PS5. And I said, okay, that's good. That's very good. How much is it? He called an amount. Is it 100 and something? I can't remember. A
Yeah.
hundred and something thousand.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's very good. How much do you have?
Oh.
Now my son is 11.
Yeah.
I said, how much do you have? He said nothing. Then so why should I? You want PS5? Who is buying it? Where do you intend to get the money from? Who? So he is already feeling entitled to my money or his father's money.
Hmm.
And I told him point blank, I cannot go and work from morning till night and come and get you PS5.
That you'll be using to while away your time.
Truly, I said, if you want PS5, you know what to do. And he said, what? Mommy? I said, work. You have to work. You're on holiday. You have to work. What kind of work? Okay, I'm going to walk around the house. I said, fine. What can you do in the house?
That you can receive
You
payment
receive
for.
payment for it. You cannot be feeling entitled to my money because I'm your mother or your daddy. No.
Wow.
You,
Wow.
you, you,
Wow.
you cannot feel entitled to my
You're
money.
already nailing the next question.
You understand?
Now,
So let me just wrap
yeah,
up.
please do.
The next day, my son came with an application letter. He wrote an application and said, I'm going to submit it in the shop close to the house. I said, fine. I looked at it, told him where to correct and all that he did. I said, go and submit it. He said, take it for me. I said, no, you have two legs. Am I the one that wrote the letter? No, you wrote the letter. Take it. He went, submitted, and he was begging, mommy, call him and follow up. I said, no, you will follow up. And he followed up and he got the job. So right now, my son is working in a shop. He's waiting to be paid so that he can buy PS5. Now I can gladly say, okay, let me top up. Who? I'm not giving him for free. Bros, you are not entitled to my money.
At age 11.
Yes, you're my son, but you're not entitled to it. I'm giving you the basic things that a parent should give a child, which is good education, food and shelter, and spiritual guidance.
You see,
Anything else is your business.
if you are familiar with um, the richest man in Babylon,
Mm-hmm.
there was something he did to his son, because that's going to bring us to the next question. He called his son because he was getting old and he was scared that if he hands over his enterprise, his estate to his son, that the son will squander it. So what he did was that he called the son, gave the son a bag of gold, as they called it then,
Mm-hmm.
and gave the son uh, tablets of wisdom that he had learned on how he built his wealth, and asked the son to travel to another country and go and ensure that he does something with his life. And if he's able to survive and come back, that is what is going to guarantee that he can leave his estates to him.
Mm.
So the son traveled, eventually squandered the
The bag
money.
of gold.
It was after he had invested into things that he didn't do his due diligence that he now came back to the tablet of wisdom
Mm.
and started reading and started reading. He said he was not going to come back to his father if he doesn't make it. So he read from the wisdom, and after about, I think, 5 to 10 years, he was able to use the wisdom the father had inscribed on those tablets and really made himself huge amount of money.
Mm.
So he returned back to his father and gave the father the story of how he went.
How he went.
He gave his father one bag of gold in return for the bag of gold the father gave to him, and then gave the father 2 bags of gold for the tablet of wisdom.
Most valuable.
So he told his father that the wisdom tablet he gave to him were much more beneficial to him than the golden tablet, because he lost the money,
Oh yeah.
but the wisdom helped him to find more money. So my question to you, Nama, is if you want your children to inherit your mindset, not your money, not your investment, what mindset would you want them to inherit from
The mindset I would want my children to inherit from me is the mindset that says there is nothing bigger than you on the
you?
face of the earth. Nothing is bigger than you. You are the biggest. there is nothing you cannot achieve or do. Nothing. And then you see resilience.
Yeah.
That is something I always pray that the Lord will give to my children. They should be able to withstand pressure. They should be able to not give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. No matter how terrible the situation, do not give up. By all means, don't give up. If you have to crawl, crawl to that point. If you find yourself crawling, crawl on your stomach, on your knees. Just don't give up. Because when you give up, anything can, you begin to gather dust.
Wow.
You begin to gather dust on you. And it begins to weigh you down. You cannot move from that point. So never ever give up. Just keep moving. By all means, keep moving. No matter, see, you see this business. I have faced challenges. My coach Ima, I'll call him and I'll say, I'm not doing this business again. He'll say, you go and sleep first. You that I know, go and sleep first. In the morning, you'll come with a different idea. And it has always been like that. But let me tell you, even last week, I gave up on my business. Yes, so last week, just last week, I said, this business, let's just shut down. Let's. But in my mind, you're just telling who are you telling? So you always make sure that there is a glimmer of hope. No matter how faint the candle is burning,
Wow.
just ensure it keeps burning. Just ensure it keeps burning because you just don't know when it will ignite and shine brighter. So you keep moving, just keep moving.
Wow, it's been an interesting time, and having to hear some of these things from you directly, it's mind blowing, it's challenging, it's encouraging, and it's inspiring. I I want to say that Napoleon Hill said, anything the mind of man can conceive and bring himself to believe he can achieve,
Absolutely.
and that buttresses what you just said. For our viewers out there, I want you to know that life on its own cannot give you guarantee. You just have to give yourself the guarantee that this thing I'm pursuing, I will get an answer to it.
Yes.
When you may not be able to tell. But if you stay on that thing, the opposition will give up. Because there is always a struggle. The
Yeah.
opposition and you
Oh,
want this,
yes.
the opposition is coming. You want to see who will give up. And if you always allow the opposition win, you fall on the side of failures. And if you insist that no, I will win, that mindset is something that we all must imbibe.
Yes.
Now, I want you to tell us about Nenji Smart Shuttles and Logistics, the things you do, and if there are, I know there are, you are open for investment right now. Please just feel free to tell us about your enterprise.
Okay, so Ninja Smart Shuttles and Logistics is a transport company that shuttles between Jos and Abuja to Jos every day, 2 times a day for now. Okay, so we have very beautiful vehicles. Our vehicles are new.
I can attest to that.
Our vehicles are new. Our drivers are highly professional. We have the comfort and the safety of our passengers at heart. For us in Ninja Smart Shuttles, our passengers come first. And of course, every business gets to a point of expansion, and I want to believe we're at that point where we're open to having investors bring in some amount of money, whereby vehicles will now be purchased in the investor's name. Then it will be used for a period of 2 years. Of course, every month you get your ROI, which is the return on investment. And then at the end of the 2 years, you can either have your vehicle back or we can renegotiate the terms of reference. So basically that's where Nenji is. And I can assure you that Nenji is a company that grew from a place of passion, from a place of love, from a place of deep, deep belief in the fact that there is nothing that is not achievable. So it is on that ground that I can tell you for a fact that Nenji is here to stay.
I believe
As
so
a company,
much.
Nenji is here to stay. Even if it means traveling with just one single vehicle, I can promise you that Nenji is here to stay. We will fall, we will rise, we will fall, we will rise, but Nenji is here to stay. It's a legacy that we have to pass to our children to not give up on anything we're doing.
Thank you so much. I don't need to say much about Nenji again. For one, that's what I travel with. It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I also want people to understand that one of the things that a lot of people look out for is timing.
Yeah.
Since I started traveling with Nenji, I can book a flight from Abuja to anywhere I'm going to because you may not have direct flights to Jos. And then the flight is for 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Nenji will leave by 7 in Jos.
On
And
the
by
dot.
11, 7 on dots. Whether it's a timed transportation,
Yeah.
7 and 1. If you are there by 1, if you are there by 7, good for you. And I arrive at Abuja by 11:30. And I have the leverage of just strolling to the airport and not be scared whether I'm going to miss my flight.
Yes, sir.
I think that's one beautiful thing that I've come to enjoy using Nenji to travel to Abuja. The good work you are doing, please keep it up.
Thank you.
You are inspiring a lot of people. You are encouraging a lot of people. And to also know that a female doing this type of business and sharing your story, how you started, a lot of people will still want to hear more. And I hope that time will avail us to get more episodes of this podcast again from you. I know you're a very busy person, but I want to appreciate
Yeah.
you for your time
Thank
today.
you.
And I'm very, very grateful that you're
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you
Let
so
me
much.
let me just
Please
quickly
go
use
ahead.
this opportunity to speak to young people.
Please go ahead.
You see, we're all young people, and we know that it has been quite challenging in recent years, but I can assure you that it's going to get better. You just need to put your mind into it. Please don't look for instant gratification. It doesn't come. Instant gratification comes with a price. You want to make so much money quickly. It comes with a price, and the price is usually steep. You cannot pay it. So please, I just want to use this opportunity to appeal to young people. Whatever your hands find doing, do it well. Just do it with every sense of dignity and responsibility. Don't look at how much you want to make instantly. You build yourself, you go gradually. When you go gradually, you will definitely get to a destination safely. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal. Please set your minds to work. There is no fast money anywhere. Anybody who tells you there is money to be picked somewhere is lying to you.
Wow.
You have to work for that money, and you have to earn it in a dignified manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful, man.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.